Well, we're talking more than 100 degrees in the Portland metro area. A lot of people might think going to the coast may be one way to beat the heat. Meteorologist Matt Brode is focusing on the temperatures much closer to home as well as on the coast. So, Matt, what do you say? Should we head over there?
Yes, absolutely can. If you were there today, maybe you're like, what are you talking about? We were in the 90s at the coast, and check it out. Even some spots triple digit. Let's take a look at Seaside, for example. 102 your high temperature. Now, we only keep records at certain locations, but one of those spots is at the coast, Astoria. That's a record high of 92 degrees, 96 at Tillamook, and even 86 in Newport. That 86 happened at lunchtime. Guess what the temperature was at 4 o'clock? 59 degrees. So we got something going on in the atmosphere that's changing for the Oregon coast. So if you're looking to beat the heat tomorrow, well, that's a good place to go. We'll get to that in a few more minutes. We'll talk about that. How about this, though? In the valleys, PDX 102, that's a record high. Beaverton was 102, 101 in Battleground. Tigard at 100 degrees. So many spots across the valleys, many spots even right here across the metro at or above 100 degrees. Look at this. The entire spine of the I-5 corridor, 102 in Portland, 102 Salem, 101 in Eugene. North Bend, 64. How about that, right? East of the Cascades, where it's always hot, places like Pendleton and Baker City, you know what, you couldn't hold a torch to us today. West of the Cascades, where, you know what, triple digits, just a rule of thumb, 94 Redmond and 101 for the Dalles. Let's go to our live pinpoint weather net. I want to show you some of the high temperatures that we captured here. 105 at Milwaukee. This is why we love the pinpoint weather net, because we have a little bit of observations in most neighborhoods. 104 Sherwood, 103 West Lynn, and 103 in Scioto. And temperatures are starting to fall a little bit, but still triple digits in many of those locales. Again, I got to show you this shot. This is certainly the shot of the evening. 67, we're finally seeing that cool marine air approach the Oregon coast, and that's a trend that will continue as we make our way tomorrow as well. But if you go to Beaverton right now, you're still at 97 degrees. It's hot out there despite the fact it's 6:15 in the evening. Stay hydrated. Try to limit that time outdoors. Live look. This is downtown Portland right now. It doesn't look quite, you know, as bright, right? Well, it's evening after all, but the current temperature, 100 degrees. And again, as I told you at the top of the broadcast, over 1,100 days since we can say that we've done that. What I want to do right now is actually back that up, because I went right through those temperatures, and I want to show you some of those current temperatures that we're seeing. And you know what? They are still very warm out there. In fact, we're, like I said, 100 degrees downtown Portland, but as we go downtown, 96, 102 in Salem, 75 Tillamook, and there's your Newport at 59 degrees, right? 100 at the Dalles. We're still 100 in Corvallis, and 95 the current temperature at Hood River. That sunset last night, right? And we had clear skies. The atmosphere really dried out. We got just enough of that east wind to really heat things up, and it didn't take long today. Okay, here's the setup then. The heat is on today, certainly, but tomorrow we're still going to be hot. I still think mid-90s, but much cooler at the coast. We have onshore flow, and you've already seen it, right? It's only 59 right now in Newport, and that will cool us down a few degrees. But the one thing I'm concerned about is the fact that it's going to maybe feel a little bit hotter tomorrow than it did today. That's because we're going to see some more humidity. So let's go to that forecast then for tomorrow, and we're going to start off in the coast, and we're talking about temps in the 80s. And then dropping 80s early on in the afternoon, and then they're going to drop into the 60s. That's on the north coast. Central, southern coast, you know what? You probably don't get out of the 60s. East side, well, sunny and hot. Fire weather watch and possibly an afternoon thunderstorm, as we do have a little piece of moisture coming this way. Now, let's head off to the Columbia River Gorge. Mid-90s for much of the gorge. 81 Government Camp. Sunny, warm. Isolated thunderstorm possible, and I think even here in the valleys, we'll have to look out very closely late in the evening to see if we possibly get a thunderstorm, but in the daytime, we could just see some cloud builds up. 95 for the high in Portland, so another very hot day with highs in the mid-90s. Mid-90s for the west side, a bit cooler but muggier, sunny, and then again, some cloud buildups by the afternoon. 90s again, east side of town with the added humidity, and as we make our way into southwest Washington, we're talking about mid-90s again. It's a warm start at 8 o'clock, 68. Rapid warming again, 68. We're calling it the Triple H's. Hazy, hot, and humid at 5 o'clock. I think we get up to about 96 tomorrow, Ken. So that's 6 degrees cooler than our high today. But with the humidity still feeling plenty hot. 87 Monday, Tuesday 85. back to morning clouds, back to Portland weather as we make our way into next work week. So really a day in history today across Portland and much of the surrounding areas.
You know, I've got friends in town from Las Vegas and Atlanta.
They're like, they're nothing.
Yeah, they're not too impressed by this, but we are because, you know, we're
It's
not
all
used to it.
relative, right?
It sure is. Thanks a lot, Matt.